All right, we should be live on YouTube. Let me check the stream.
Oh yeah, you don't want to have that one mishap again. I got you.
No, I learned my
You gotta
lesson.
make sure.
Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself just so I can hear you. Cause actually, you know what? No. Actually, you sound fine. Never mind.
uh,
Cause like you remember, cause you were there on Wednesday when Ruben was saying that Justin sounded too low on YouTube. And he did, cause like when I listened to the playback, like he was really low. So
yeah.
whenever I put out the audio version, I had to like heighten up his volume. So,
Uh-huh.
but I tweaked some things, so you sound better. You actually sound, well, not low. But anyways, people, we are live. We're live here on YouTube. We're also live in the Discord chat. We weren't here last week because I was feeling under the weather, but I am back and I am ready to go. I feel 92.7%, whatever that means. But welcome back to Metal Drive Hoops. This is episode 6. I am Drew, and joining me as always,
Tony.
Mike will be here whenever he gets here. But yeah, so it's been an interesting week for our San Antonio Spurs. It's been kind of up and down. They have, I mean, they're still the second best team in the West, and they've won the past 2 games. They won a pretty big game last night, which we'll talk about that. But yeah, ever since Christmas Day, even I think Julian Champagny even brought it up that ever since Christmas Day, they have not they've been kind of slacking. They haven't been playing as well as we wanted them to do. Which, granted, they're still the second best team in the West, and
Yeah.
the Nuggets, they're injury riddled. The Lakers have not been playing that great. The Rockets haven't been playing that great. But Justin, brought it up on the Wednesday show, the experience that a lot of it can be contributed to Devin Vassell being out. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Man, I think we're doing good. We're 27-11 for crying out. I mean, we're not gonna we're not gonna win every game. We had a mishap against the Memphis Grizzlies. Some dude named Cam Spencer that I'd never even heard of, came in clutch and hit the game winner. And that's gonna happen on most nights or whatever, especially when you have Wemby coming in and out of the lineup. We're not sure about him. The dude steps on a Lego, he's injured. So
I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, he's not Anthony Davis.
Well, hey man, all I know is he's about 3 or 4 games out from missing out on his awards. So if you were to put my feet to the fire and hey Anthony, right now, do you think that Wemby will be able to cash in on his awards at the end of the season? So that means he can't miss any more games. Or, I'm going to say I'm not too confident in that answer in saying yes. So I don't want to give him that title, but he is kind of tinkering on the border of being injury prone.
No.
So
I'm sorry, dude. I'm gonna have to highly object. He is not injury.
Okay.
He's not injury prone. Again, it's little things. Like, it's not. Again, I hate to throw dirt on the guy, but it's not like a fucking Anthony Davis where the guy tears a hamstring by just getting out of the bed every morning. At this point, that's how bad it is. And I hate to like shit on the guy, but it's just like the guy that's injury prone. A guy like Wemby, he's still young, and he's also you gotta remember he's also 7'5", 7'6". A dude that tall, historically, those guys don't tend to have longer careers, and I'm not saying he's not gonna have a long career, but he's gonna do fine. Like, and I'm fine with them being hands on with his health, because I'd rather he play 60 something games and we have him for the playoffs leading into an NBA finals, as opposed to awards mean more but then he doesn't or like he misses the rest of the season. You know what I mean? Like I'm fine. I'm fine with it. I don't think he's injury prone personally. I just think they want to take a chance on their franchise player.
I got you. And I think we're a little bit over too coddlesome with him. From what a report that I heard was the last injury he had with the hyperextension. He went back to the tunnel. He gave everybody a thumbs up. He's like, "Yeah, I'll be back next game or whatever." And a report came out that he had to tell the medical staff that, hey, look, they were trying to get him to sit out in the Memphis game. He had to tell the medical staff, like, hey, no, look, I'm good. Like, I'm good. I'm straight. Like, let me play. So I think our medical staff is a little bit too overbearing with, I get it, he's our franchise player. You want to make sure that he's going to be, available for 5-10 years down. I got it. But at a certain point, you gotta kind of like let these guys kind of play a little bit more and be a little bit more lenient. I think we're more like there's a balance. I think there's a side of being careful or being extreme. I think we lean all the way to the left on being too careful. And sometimes, and I said this in one of the podcasts before, I was like, well, if it's going to be like that, Wemby's just going to have to speak up and just be like, I can play or whatever. And he knows his body better than anybody in any medical staff, because he's the only one that can feel inside and see what he's capable of. And the dude's young. If I were to have a hyperextension like that dude in that game, then I probably would be out for 1 or 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So he is a young spring chicken, wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac. He can recover easily, or recover quicker.
No, I get what you mean. It's just like, I think I brought this up on a show, or on the show that nobody will hear, where I mentioned that, for Wemby, he's so used to playing in a certain system whenever he was, playing, for France, to now he's playing in a more constructed, system in America that's probably a lot more hands-on than what it used to be, because the NBA wasn't this hands-on before, because back in the day, guys would be like, oh, I can rough through it. Tim Duncan, would get hurt, and he's like, oh, I can rough through it. I'm good. Like, I don't need restrictions. Whereas nowadays, it's good that they have restrictions to kind of save these guys from themselves, because they can speak up all they want and say, I'm good, but it's just like, the medical staff, they're there for a reason. Like, they're there to kind of keep you in check. So in some ways it is frustrating, because it's like, the Memphis game you brought up, where like he was on a hot streak, and I think he literally just hit 30 points, and then the final 3 minutes of the game they took him out, and you realize that he literally hit his minutes restriction. So for Mitch
fumbled that.
Yeah, for Mitch Johnson, he really should have done a better job at backlogging his minutes.
Terrible.
That's the only thing I'll hold him against, is not backlogging his minutes properly. Because it was the game against Oklahoma City for the Cup game, where they kept him out of the first quarter entirely, and then they just let him play for the rest of the game.
Perfect.
They should have done that, but with the Memphis game, I think they maybe got a little too cocky and thought, oh, Memphis isn't that good of a team, we'll be fine. But it's like, nah, Memphis. Was it the dude you just brought up, Cam Spencer? He like in the past 2 games. In the 2 games prior against the Spurs, like the dude's a hell of a shooter. So, but again, that's no excuse, and it's just like another thing with the Spurs is just they need they need to defend the 3 a lot better. Like to me, I see this play a lot, and I've noticed it. I noticed it yesterday, where I'm just like, this is literally the same play they run, where somebody runs into the lane, and bless you, and Wemby always has to be right there to guard, and then that leaves somebody open in the wing or in the corner. And they really need to do a better job at that. They need to just let the guy earn the shot instead of just leaving somebody wide the fuck open. But go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So if I want to just retort to what you're, at the Memphis game, if Wemby's in the game in the last 3 minutes, it's about a 90 to 95% chance we're winning that game. I'm still going to give them that 10% or 5%. It is an NBA team. Mm-hmm. But I saw when Wemby was in the game, the whole tide shifted and we came back. So with that being said, it was a difference maker. And Cam Spencer, he had his moment or whatever, but we just got to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And to what were you just saying? I'm sorry.
No, I was talking about defending the three a lot better.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what we're doing, and it's that guy came from Dallas, Sweeney. Mm-hmm. He was a assistant coach, and somehow we were able to scare him away from their coaching staff, and he ended up on our coaching staff. I know you've probably heard about it, but he installed a new defensive scheme where everything funnels into Wemby. So whenever Wemby's on the perimeter, you'll see Wemby point to like Champagne or Keldon to switch off and guard the guy on the perimeter so he can sink back into the paint. It's like all the guards are literally switching in rotation. And if Wemby somehow ends up somebody on the perimeter, he'll tell them to switch in or switch out, and then he'll switches back into the paint. It's actually pretty good. I know you've seen it, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Those plays where Wemby got caught on the perimeter, is that kind of what you're talking about? And then he had to, get out there. Am I correct?
No, you're right. Because like he'll literally kind of be in between where the dude in the perimeter is, and then somebody driving in because he wants to block the shot. But yeah. I mentioned this before a few shows ago where teams are already starting to come up with plays against him. Like they're starting to get it. And again, Wemby's young. He's still young. It's not like he's 30 something yet. He's still a young man. He's got ways to go. Like he hasn't even hit his prime yet. He's still young and he has a lot to work on. But teams are already starting to figure out plays for him. We've seen Wemby get dunked on. Like that's how further we've seen him.
With anybody.
Yeah,
that's gonna happen. And he almost got dunked on by Jalen, but no, he wasn't having any of it. He actually dunked on that rookie too, the rookie center that the Celtics had. Man, that was nasty. That's filthy. That right hand jam. Oh my goodness, that was filthy. But there's one thing that I will say about Wemby that I can't really say about a lot of players, because there's not a lot of players like this in the NBA. Man, that boy is clutch, man. Mm-hmm. That you either have it or you don't. He has it. He's not afraid of the moment. He wants that moment. He embellishes it. Give me the ball. And he hit two key, top of the key fadeaway jumpers from both sides to seal that game, and all of them were swish, nothing but net. Man, that dude, he likes the moment. And I think, how Tim Duncan, how we always set him up on the low block or whatever, and then he did his work off the backboard or whatever. I think Wemby's play is like a pin down coming down. That's his play. I see him doing a lot of pin downs. Like they'll have one of the guards pin down and he'll come down and they'll pass it to him. And then, he'll, whatever he wants to do. If he wants to drive it, dunk it, or just pull up for a J. But the top of the key I think he likes to work. I think it's more similar to a Dirk. I mean, Dirk used to do it all the time with the Mavericks. Top of the key, and then it's just you're like the double team. That's the best place to set someone up at that caliber, because you can see where the double team is coming from. So, and you have your triple threat position. So yeah, Wemby, one thing I can say about him, he is clutch. He shows up in big moments against big players. He goes off against Giannis. He goes off against Jokic. He goes off against Luka. Like, he is, he's there. And he went off against the OKC Thunder. I don't know what it is. He likes these moments. And this is how I know that eventually one day we're going to win a championship. We're on a trajectory because, and then we have Fox, clutch player of the year, 2 or 3, years removed. And this team in the right direction, man. That's one thing I was worried about. I didn't know if he really had it in him. But no, he has it in him. He wants to be in those moments, and he thrives in them.
Definitely, because, we brought it up where it's just like his first 2 years in the league, he was just always waiting around in the three-point line. This season, he's doing less of that. He's actually going into the post. He's backing down guys. Game by game, mm-hmm. I'm seeing little mistakes because he'd always try to, barrel himself into the post. And that's how, he would, cause a turnover. Whereas now he's being a lot smarter. He's realizing I don't need to always post someone down. Like, if I have a smaller matchup, mm-hmm. yeah, but, I can just take jump shots because I'm taller than mostly everyone on the court. So, and it's working because, yesterday he had that sweet release to pretty much mm-hmm. put the game away. Mm-hmm. Another thing, for the game, yesterday was that the Spurs, I think, had close to 20-ish free throw attempts, whereas the Celtics only had 2, which was kind of a controversy, with Jaylen Brown. I don't know if you saw the clip, but I'm going to play it. Mm-hmm. Just let me know if you can hear it.
Okay.
Just somebody please pull it up. Somebody please pull up the clips.
I pulled the clips. Jaylen Brown went on a huge tangent after the Celtics' 195 loss to the Spurs on Saturday night. The Spurs.
Okay, that's not the clip. Well, it's technically the clip, but it's not the clip. It's more just somebody explaining the clip. But basically, Jaylen Brown wasn't happy that he wasn't getting the calls that he wanted. And actually, I have it right here. Never mind.
What sort of pressure did they put on you guys? I don't think it was. They went zone. They tried to throw a different look at us, something unique that we haven't really seen all year. It was like a matchup zone. It was kind of, it was definitely unique, trying to protect some of their guys because they didn't want to go man. They didn't feel like they could guard us. But I feel like, honestly, they just got away with a lot. And I'm tired of the inconsistency. I'll accept the fine at this point. I thought it was some bullshit.
Turn it up a little bit.
I thought that,
I turned it up all the way. So, anyways, just, long story short, the gist of it, he said pretty much I'll accept the fine at this point. I thought it was some bullshit tonight. And then on his Twitter, he essentially just put the same shit. He put, "Find me. I'm sick of this shit."
And he's not too much worried about money, bro. He's good. That dude has a $300 million max contract, him and Tatum. So $300 million and a little 20,000, 40,000, 60,000 fine to that dude. It's a slap on the wrist. So he'll take that L.
Yeah, I don't think players really care. I always thought it was weird that you get fined for criticizing the officiating.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. The referees are protected, and that's weird.
Yeah, and I want to segue into this since we're already on Wemby, and this is one of my topics. Let's go ahead and segue into it. Wemby, how do you feel about Wemby coming off the bench? I know it sounds crazy. I know, okay, the Spurs, we are the first ones in the NBA, first team always in the NBA to reinvent the wheel somehow, some way, and I think this is turning more into a strategy, man. I think because we've been doing it too much, and we could just easily start him and kind of, do his minutes that way. But I think we've done it so much already. I think it's turned into a strategy. I don't know if you recall or heard, but they had LaMelo Ball. I love LaMelo Ball, by the way. I saw him play. He is box office. He is a top 5 one of my top 5 most fun players to watch, LaMelo Ball. With him, it's a highlight reel. But I'm thinking this is more of a strategy now. I don't know what you think about it, Drew, but him coming off the bench, I think it's good, but I don't know if that's something that he would really be willing to accept, because, he's our franchise player and, usually that entails other awards. I don't think he'll easily get the 6th Man of the Year award. I mean, that's not a problem, but I don't know what you think about that. Do you think this is a strategy, Drew? Because we're doing it more often than not.
I mean, it's working because it's one of those things that it's one of those things that they had to do, and not because they wanted to do it. Because of his minutes restriction. I think I saw a thing where they're 9-1 with him coming off the bench, which it's so fucking weird because without Wemby they were playing great. They were playing very good. With Wemby they were playing very good. With him coming off the bench, it almost seems like they're playing better with him coming off the bench, and it's so weird to it's so weird to think about because I remember Tim Duncan came off the bench for one game, and it's just like, okay, well, Tim Duncan, he's unselfish, blah blah, but it's like Wemby I think is on a much better career trajectory than Tim Duncan was. And I did see the thing about LaMelo, about him coming off the bench. I don't necessarily know if it's going to reinvent the wheel as far as other teams are going to be have our stars come off the bench. But this league is so different. This league changes. And, I didn't think a young team would win a championship, but then the Thunder won a championship last year.
Exactly. And I think, I don't mean to interject. I think that cup experience, it helps with the intensity and the matters of the game. Right. It's like I've already been in these high peak moments earlier in the season before December. And I think that helps with young teams being in that situation. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just kind of said everything I need to say. I mean, obviously, when the restriction's done, he's gonna start. But it's just so weird how well this team has played, with or without Wemby, and with him on a minutes restriction. And I again, I don't see that as Mitch Johnson, saying to him once his restrictions up, like, hey, do you want to come off the bench? You want to keep coming off the bench? It's like, I don't think that'll happen. It's not a thing of Keldon Johnson where they're like, hey, would you be willing to come off the bench even though you were a starter and you're averaging 20 a game? That's different. That's more of just Keldon Johnson doing whatever he can with the team. Not saying that Wemby won't. I'm just saying that I don't think they're going to have their star player coming off the bench permanently. Once his restrictions up. But. Yeah. Let me kind of segue into, my hot take, but it's not really a hot take. Go ahead.
Real quick, I just want to kind of stay on this topic, and you can have it. Keldon Johnson, 6th Man of the Year. He is playing out of this world, Drew. Out of this world. Man, Keldon is really, really showing his value. 1-2 years ago, everybody, and I wasn't on that wagon. I love Keldon to death. Everybody wanted him to get traded. I'm like, no. Keldon is the heartthrob of this team. We need to keep him. And whenever he was in Wemby's spot, only real Spurs fans know this. A few years ago, where Wemby's at, that was Keldon's role, the star player. So he knows how to play ball. Mm-hmm. And he was averaging 21, 22 points per game doing that. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Keldon Johnson. My goodness, man. He has worked and developed on his 3-point shot on the corner. And obviously he's gained muscle. Last year he lost weight, and then this year he gained weight because he figured out his role. And I just want to point that out since we're talking about 6 men. I think it should be really, really heavy consideration for him being the 6th Man of the Year. That's it.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I love Keldon. I think of everyone on the team, aside from the starters, the star players, he's been very consistent. He's someone that you can always rely on to to do whatever it is he needs to do, and whether it's dominating in the paint or hitting 3-point shots. I think he's been having a great year, and I'm gonna be biased. I don't care, but like I think he should win Sixth Man of the Year because he adds so much firepower, so much needed energy off the bench. Aside from Wemby, but his is more of a different uh, situation. But I think Keldon's been great. I think he's been phenomenal for this team. Again, I'll admit I was one of those people that said they should think of trading him long ago. This is long ago. I told you this. I told you this to your face. I told you that, and I remember your response was like, "Man, that's bold." um, but now I'm very much just like, no, keep Keldon. Stay away from Keldon. You can other things I'll get into, but Keldon is untouchable. Nobody touches Keldon.
Okay. Now, I'm glad, a lot of people see his worth, and we just weren't good last year. We just weren't good. We had a freaking 40-year-old point guard running the show. No respect, no disrespect. I would still like to have him around. Cliff Paul, if circumstances present itself, but I would like to have him as a coach on the coaching staff. I think that we have a job if he wants to take that. I don't think he's no more welcomed in his alma mater and Clipperland, which is weird. So he might be looking elsewhere for post a career employment. Okay, sorry about that. Go ahead.
No. But speaking of trading, so obviously Sohan is kind of on that spot. Sohan, who surprisingly has been getting a lot of minutes lately. I don't know if that means something. I don't know. I mean, it should mean something, but he's kind of on the chopping block. Another guy I really think they should look into moving is Harrison Barnes. And
hot take.
Harrison Barnes in the beginning of the season was like clutch. Like the guy couldn't miss. The corner was his sweet spot. And then for whatever reason, specifically when they went to Vegas, I don't know what happened. I don't know if maybe he has an injury that he's not telling anyone about, or maybe there's something going on in his personal life that's distracting him, but it's just like whoever this Harrison Barnes is, that's not the Harrison Barnes we saw in the beginning of the season, because the guy can't really hit shots. I mean, you see him drive in more, but like he can't really knock down shots anymore, and I don't know what the issue is. I don't know what's wrong. So they should really consider either benching him. And I know like his whole thing is, I'm the Iron Man of the NBA. It's like, well, the Iron Man died in Endgame, so you're not Iron Man. You need to spoilers for anyone that's seen Endgame. You bench him or trade him, because he's what I don't know what's going on with him, but he's not good. He's not good at all.
I'm not so fast to just get rid of him. He's in a lull. He's in a slump. I get it. And it's bad. That was one of my topics, and I'm glad you segued right into it. Barnes, what happened? What happened? Were you in Vegas sipping on too many, daiquiris, tequila, having a good time, and your game fell off? Because I think you left your game in Vegas. I'm just messing with you. But yeah. He has fell off a cliff. And I think, we give him a little bit more time to figure it out. And hopefully see some results.
Breaking news. I'm sorry, man. I got breaking news. Vic is going to start tonight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the San Antonio Spurs official page on Facebook is showing the starting lineup. So, yeah, it'll be Vic, along with Harrison Barnes, Julian Champagny, which we'll talk about in a bit, of course, Stephen Castle and De'Aaron Fox. So Vic is starting tonight, so good for him.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, see what happens when he starts, because we're 9-1 with him coming off the bench.
More like Victor, pack your ass back to the bench. No, I'm playing.
Yeah, go back to the bench, because you always get injured when you start for some reason.
But
But yeah. Well, real quick, okay, and Barnes is struggling, and then let's talk about Dylan Harper. He's struggling also. That was one of my topics I also wanted to segue into.
Right.
He's been struggling a little bit.
Right.
He has his driving of the ball, and he's still young. He's a rookie, man. I'm not really, we don't have to dig too much into him, but he's driving and he's to no avail. He's I think he hit like one or two 3-point shots last night, but his driving of the ball, it just wasn't looking well over the past few games. Yeah, he hasn't been himself also.
Yeah, I've noticed that. But again, I'm not going to hold that against him because he's still young. With Harrison Barnes, it's like he's the vet, and he's a little bit more expendable. With Dylan, he's still young, and he'll learn. Whenever he's not scoring, he finds other ways to make himself useful. Whether it be up his assist game, but I think he'll do fine. It's just he needs. I talked about with Wemby where other teams are preparing plays against him. With Dylan, I think they're doing that with him because a lot of his whole thing is driving it to the rim and scoring. And you notice how he's taking a lot more jump shots, which I like. By the way, I like the fact that he's taking a lot more jump shots. But yeah, Dylan, I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried about Dylan. I think again he's still young. He'll get it. Julian Champagnie, on the other hand, I think has been playing very well as of late. He had the game on New Year's Eve where he broke the franchise record for most 3-point shots in a game, 11, and that was a game where the Spurs were struggling. They were getting their asses beat, and San Antonio native Jordan Clarkson, couldn't miss any threes.
I love him. I love JC. I love him. It's funny. I would have been that dude at the Spurs game clapping for the other team, and all the Spurs fans. I just like him because he's from San Antonio. Sorry.
Right. But yeah, just Julian Champagnie. Like I told you on Snapchat, break out the Champagnie. He had 11 threes, 36 points, and. I'm proud of him. Like, he's been doing great. So he's been doing surprisingly good at rebounding the ball because yesterday he had another career high in rebounds. Was it 12, 13 rebounds?
And you know what? It runs in the family. His brother is actually a really good rebounder too, and he's shorter than him. I don't know what it is with the Champagne brothers, but they can rebound for guards. I don't know. It's in the genetics.
And that's good. That's obviously good. So I think Champagnie's been great, whenever other guys aren't picking up the slack. So yeah, I can't say enough good things about Julian Champagnie. Like my whole thing was just like, I don't know if I would have him at small forward because he's not good defensively, but he's been kind of proving me wrong. So what can I say?
Yeah, I do want to point out, man, he kind of jacks up some shots just randomly. Yeah. During possessions where we could set up something for like Fox or Castle or Wemby, he just comes up, he gets the first pass and he's jacking it up. I'm like, bro, he needs to work on that. I get it. That's his role to just shoot threes. I got it, man. But sometimes just let the offense flow. The ball's gonna come back around to you. It just doesn't need to be the first pass where we come up, take a couple dribbles, and you're just running up and you have a guy in front of your face and you just pull up. Like, dude, just stop. Like, just and we got in trouble last night because we fell into the Celtics game. All the Celtics I want to do is shoot threes all game, and it felt like we matched. We were feeling their energy, and we're just like, oh, we're playing the Celtics. Let's just back up threes all game, and we almost lost because of it.
No, you're right, and that was kind of my whole thing. It's just like they need to take smarter shots, and luckily. In the fourth quarter, you had Wemby taking over, you had Keldon, taking over, and you had, De'Aaron taking over.
Yeah.
So they need to be smarter about their shots, and that's something I think they're going to learn as the season progresses. And again, they're lucky to be in the spot they're in, and by that I mean Denver's injury riddled. The Lakers are not playing that great. Houston's not playing that great. So yeah, they're 27-11. Yeah, but it's just one of those things of like they need to be they need to be lucky that they're able to hide these mistakes in a kind of weird looking Western Conference. But um, yeah, and that's really about it. As far as like moving people, I mean, I kind of stand by my whole thing is like if they have the opportunity, they should probably consider moving Harrison if there's a possibility. Also Sohan, I think Sohan's on his way out.
What'd you think about his hair last night? His it's like fuchsia.
God.
It's like a fuchsia or magenta hair. Hey, Diet Rodman. Ladies and gentlemen, Drew Yari has christened Sohan's nickname as Diet Rodman.
Well, yeah, because it's just like he looks like Rodman, but he doesn't have the. It's like everyone. I mean, whoever enjoys Diet Coke, it's like it doesn't actually taste like regular Coke. It's just half the calories. I wouldn't even call him Zero Rodman, like Coke Zero. He's Diet Rodman.
Okay, well, give him this. Give him this, though. Just give him this. I understand. I'm not the biggest Sohan fan either. You already know I've told you my grievances with him, and we were on the same page. But just give him this one thing. When anytime a fight erupts or any type of altercation, he's around or in the mix. So he saying he is that he doesn't even sniff even his shoes. But what I can say is he has Wemby's back. He has everybody's on the team's back. Anytime any type of altercation goes awry, he's somewhere around or about to walk up or something. So I'll give him that of being a tough guy. I'm not saying he's like Ryan. No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying he is. I would say he would be one of our enforcers.
No, I agree. I mean, the thing with Jared Vanderbilt where they got into it, and then Champagny had his back, and even Champagny said the same thing that last year there was an altercation, and Jeremy had his back. So I'll give him that, but it's just like other than that, I can do without you. I can. We can move on. We can move on from you, bud.
Look, I just want him to improve on his three-point shot, and his defense is needed. He could be at the end of the bench, but whatever in line, we just need to agree to terms with his contract, man. Look, man, whatever you think you're worth, I think you're probably 10 to 20 millions dollars less than you're worth, or what you think you're worth. You're a role player, third stringer kind of dude that's situational against certain teams. So if we can get him on like a 10 million, 15 million, like something like that, really cheap, then he could stick around. But if he's demanding like 30 mil, no, you're not that type of guy, bro. You're not that type of guy.
I don't see him demanding that, to be honest. Like, I think he kind of knows his role.
Okay.
I think I'll give him this. I'll give him another thing. I think he's smart enough to know what he needs to improve on, but it seems like the Spurs are kind of getting ready to move on from him. That's the impression I get, because he got crunch time minutes in the game against Memphis, and then he was getting minutes against Boston, and once you notice the momentum was starting to shift towards the Spurs way, that's when they took him out. So I think Mitch Johnson realizes, we can keep him in for certain games, but, we need, I think he learned his lesson with the Memphis game of like, we probably shouldn't have kept him in that long.
Yeah.
But, I do think they need to move him. They need to get an actual big man who I don't know. I know people have been suggesting Trey Murphy, which I think Trey Murphy's very good.
Expensive.
Yeah, too expensive. the Knicks are a look, and they want to bring in that other French dude that Wemby knows, but it's like again, it's like trading a hat for a hat. It's another undersized guy. It's another undersized 6'7" power forward.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know who they can get. I really don't. I truly don't know. I would love, I don't know, a 6'10", 6'11" guy that can play defense like that. That's pretty much what I want. That's pretty much what I want. But yeah, Sohan, Barnes, I'm kind of set on that. Get rid of Bismack Biyombo's worthless ass. Like goodbye. And if
Bismack, yeah,
yeah,
I got you. Yeah, he has one of the worst plus minuses ever. Go ahead.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah.
And if they can maybe use some of their draft picks as leverage to get someone decent, I'd be fine with that too. Because in all actuality, do they even need Atlanta's draft pick?
Dude, I don't care. Yes, we do. Yeah, I will take all we can get because I don't see Oklahoma City giving up any of theirs. So,
which that's
I say
fucking
yes,
weird.
We do.
That's fucking weird.
Yes, bro. We need that just for Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City. If anybody in the league can compete front office wise, I'm not talking about in the basketball court. I'm talking about just straight front office, being able to position yourself from years to come with the assets and draft capita. It would be us. So yes, we do need that for them, just for them. So they could, if we didn't exist, I think they'd be running ruckshot in the league, and no one would be able to figure them out. But yeah, we need that. We need that. And hopefully they traded Trae Young off. Hopefully they can start losing. They're like 11th in the East, though. So as much as everybody in the media is like, oh, yeah, they've been playing better without Trae Young. They're this and this. But they still are like 11th and 10th in the East. So that still will end up, with us getting a lottery from them.
Wouldn't that be some shit, though? The Hawks get like 1, 2, or 3, and it's the Spurs pick.
Oh, man, I would love it. Dude, no, man, the rich keep on getting richer. Oh, yeah, we need that. Yeah, we need that. We need all of that, Drew. All of that.
It's like y'all already have fucking Wemby and Stephon Castle. What more do you need? We want everything. We're coming for everything, you motherfuckers.
We've been looking for so damn long, man. So long. It's about time, and everybody knows us for winning. Like, we don't lose, we win. It's about time the swing of the pendulum goes in our favor. And after all these years of losing, oh man, it's Spurs Nation is back, and we are back.
Shit.
27-11 record, 26. Oh man, I haven't seen that record in years, ages. I don't even think we even had a record like that when DeMar Rosen was playing with us.
I mean,
man, it feels good.
No, I mean, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, Cam Boozer would look pretty good next to Wemby. I'm just saying.
Yes, man, we need it all, man. We're gonna, and one thing, oh man, we're so good. We're so good on hitting on draft picks. We're always good at hitting on draft picks. Some of them might not pan out or whatever, but more times than not, like, Spurs aren't going to be drafting like the Charlotte Hornets. They got lucky on the LaMelo Ball, but other outside of that, Charlotte Hornets draft picks have been really, really bad. So, and they just happened to get that one right because that was just, glaring. But yeah, we just happen to have good scouting, and we're able to hit on the draft picks, man. And I love it. Real quick. Did you have anything to say? Because I have one more topic, and then we can get off.
No, I'm good.
Okay, so let me say this: how confident are you in Mitch Johnson right now, as far as being our coach of the future? And I want to say my beef on him, my discrepancy or whatever. I think he is a good coach. He's a good coach. I wouldn't say he's great. I just think that we have so much overwhelming talent on our team that it's like, dude, how could you mess this up? How can you mess this up? We have, 2 back-to-back rookie years, and you have Wemby, and then we have Fox now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, if you can't coach this, you're pretty bad. I'm not. So what I want to say about it, I don't think he is great. What I like seeing him do more as of this year. He's doing it all last year. He's calling a lot more plays, man. We run plays.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what it came down to. And Wemby is good, but we've been winning without Wemby. Or that just shows you how good our team is. We just have talent. We have so much talent on this team. You can't mess it up. So I just want to get your take on Mitch Johnson. What do you think about him?
It's one of those things of like, I think he's been doing better. He's been improving on the things that I thought he was doing bad at. So yeah, this is like his first. Yeah, this is literally his first full year as a coach, because last year was Pop, and then Pop, had to bow out because of his health, because he had that stroke, and then Mitch took over. So, but this is like Mitch is actually, he actually has the keys to the kingdom, so to speak. So, he's running plays, and I've noticed that. So I think he's learning. He's learning just like everybody else is learning, and. I'm kind of interested. This is like another topic that just came in my head that you brought this up. Are you noticing how coaches are becoming a thing again in the NBA?
What do you mean by that?
Well, because for a while, I think Golden State started the trend of being self-taught and not really needing a coach. And it was kind of like that for years. Whereas nowadays, you notice coaches are starting to have their own voice again. You see Ime Udoka, for example. Ime Udoka, everywhere he goes, he has that toughness about him. He had it with Boston, and then he left, and then Joe Mazzulla took over, and his influence took over with Boston. They became more of an offensive team and less of a defensive team. And you see that with the Spurs. Mitch Johnson has his influence with this team. So. I'm glad that coaches are becoming a thing again in the NBA, and instead of just being like, "Hey, we have a coach."
So I want to caveat to what you said. Every one of those coaches that you just named are young. Mazzulla's young. Mitch Johnson's young. We need younger, youthful coaches in the league. Ime Udoka's young. It's always the same coaching tree. Let's say Rick Carlisle gets fired. Oh, we're Doc Rivers. Like it's like they just go around in a circle around the different teams, and that's just what it is. All those coaches you named right now are young. They're youthful. They have a square that they will stand on, and that, that we need more youthful coaches. I feel like at a certain point, we need to revamp our coaching league, like the NBA, because we keep on cycling in the same coaches and they're just going to different teams, and they're just old. We need to give some younger coaches, some chances. They need to get some chances. One dude that we need to work with, and I'm scared about this, man. I'm really, really scared about this. I don't know how long we're going to be able to keep that dude Sweeney on the bench as an assistant coach. I don't know how long, because I think he's going to get an offer next year for a coaching job. And he's our defensive. He drew up our defensive schemes for Wemby, and that's why we're looking so good. So that's something to look out for. And he's a young, youthful coach. He's in his 30s. Maybe he might be in his 40s, lower 40s, but I think he made 30s. But yes, he's more than likely going to get a coaching opportunity next year. So I hope that some way we're going to be able to sway him, even if it, we're like, hey, look, we'll pay you $10 million to be our assistant coach. Like, I don't know if we have that money. I'm just throwing something out there. 5 million, or like, I don't know what the going rate for coaches are. But if we can, keep him as an assistant, and I think we'll be good. But I expect him. I don't expect him to be here on the Spurs coaching staff next year.
Right. No, I agree with what you said. It's just like, this team needs, as far as like coaches, they need younger people with younger ideas, or I guess more modern ideas. Not to sway away from basketball, but it's just like, people that run anything. We need younger people. We don't need older people. We don't need older people in their 70s with their older people mentality of, this is how things should be run and we're going to do things my way. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, we need younger people running shit. We need younger people running companies. We need younger people running the country. But that's another show for another day.
Yeah, that's a whole nother, and we're not into politics, but yeah, we probably need a turnover on that real quick. And I want to say one more thing before we get off the show, because we are playing the Timberwolves right now.
Uh-huh.
And I think I need to turn that on. Are you watching the game?
Oh, shit, I forgot they're even on. Hold on.
Yeah, we're playing Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, all right, so yeah, the Timberwolves are currently the 4th seed in the Western Conference, so it should be a good matchup.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to find the game. What the hell? Where the hell's the game? But anyways, we'll wrap it up in a bit. But did you?
I want to say this real quick. I want to say this. Yeah, one more thing. So, but that just goes back to when Greg Popovich was coaching. He knows his eye for talent, whatever it is. I'm pretty sure that he has. I think he said in the past that he has never had any input on the draft or who we're drafting or whatever. I think that's false. I think he has had some type of input on who he thinks should be drafted. He had the eye for talent. He knew who to draft. He knew who to pick or whatever. But he was just old, man. He can't coach these guys. They said, it's a whole different spectrum. He's 80 years old, and he was supposed to retire after, Tony Parker and Ginobili were Tim Duncan retired a long time ago. But he was just too old to coach these guys, and his old schemes weren't working. He wasn't, he was too old to reinvent the wheel. He was just, only able to, have his system go one certain way. And I think Mitch Johnson has brought a different dimension to that. And that's what I want to end off on, if you want to caveat off of that.
No, I think that's a perfect way to end the show. Yeah, but thank you to everyone listening. The Spurs game is on right now. They're currently up by 10. The Spurs are up 19-9 at Minnesota. So we'll get off so we can enjoy that. And also, yeah, that's about it. Wednesday, The Experience. Next Sunday, another episode of Metal Drive Hoops. And I'll tell Anthony something off here. But anyways, people, take care, be safe, and go Spurs, go.